Welcome to Blame the Bible study where we actually read all the horrible parts of Christianity they don't like to talk about in church. Turn with me today to the book of Hosea, chapter 9, where we'll read about how much God and Jesus love the little children. Oh, wait, no. That they're actually going to pour out some curses on the children of Israel. It's not very happy, okay? Let's read together. Verse 9. They have sunk deep into corruption. As in the days of Gibeah, God will remember their wickedness and punish them for their sins. Isn't that just God's favorite thing to do, is just punish people for their sins? It's his favorite pastime. When I found Israel, it was like finding grapes in the desert. When I saw your ancestors, it was like seeing the early fruit on the fig tree. Oh, remember that fig tree that Jesus cursed because he went up looking for figs and it wasn't in season? And so he said, "No one shall eat from you ever again." Don't catch Jesus when he's hangry. Moving on. But when they came to Baal Peor, they consecrated themselves to that shameful idol and became as vile as the thing they loved. Ephraim's glory will fly away like a bird. No birth, no pregnancy, no conception. Evangelical Christians who are all pro-life and anti-woman's right to choose. Sounds like the Lord isn't so enamored with the unborn and the sanctity of pregnancy as you all are. Let's see where he's going to go with this. Even if they rear children, I will bereave them of every one. Woe to them when I turn away from them. I have seen Ephraim like Tyre, planted in a pleasant place, but Ephraim will bring out their children to the slayer. Buffy? No, she slays the vampires. She don't slay the children. I guess that's the Lord's job. He's the slayer of children. And then Buffy's job is, to handle the vampires. Okay, got it. Give them, Lord. What will you give them? Give them wombs that miscarry and breasts that are dry. Ugh. That is rather graphic. Does the Bible need to go there? And again, causing them wombs to miscarry. It really sounds like God is the original, abortionist, right? He's the one been terminating pregnancies for thousands of years, even among his own Israelite people, his chosen, most beloved people. Because of all their wickedness in Gilgal, I hated them there. You hated them. Okay. This is a prophet of the Lord speaking. Maybe this is the prophet's opinion and not the Lord's directly. Because God is supposed to be love, right? Because of their sinful deeds, I will drive them out of my house. I will no longer love them. All their leaders are rebellious. Oh my goodness. Just because someone's rebellious, you're not going to love them no more? I mean, children, especially teenagers, are real rebellious, but we are supposed to still love them, okay? Are we as humans better parents to our kids than God the Father is to his children, the human race? I think so. I really do. Moving on. Ephraim is blighted. Their root is withered. They yield no fruit. Even if they bear children, I will slay their cherished offspring. Oh, slaying the children. Please don't let your children read this book. It's just going to give them nightmares. My God will reject them because they have not obeyed him. They will be wanderers among the nations. So sad. So sad. It's not really sad that they rejected God and didn't obey God. I really couldn't care less. I don't know why an all-powerful, all-knowing, all-loving being would really care about such things. I mean, even today, modern parents, we are aware that teaching our children's simple obedience is not really quite enough to do a good parenting job, because one day those children are going to grow up and leave the nest and they won't have their parents there to tell them what to do anymore. And so they have two options. They can either make a whole bunch of horrible mistakes because instead of their parents teaching them how to think critically and make good decisions on their own, all they were taught to do was to follow orders. So they can make a whole bunch of mistakes that could have probably been avoided. Or their other option is to find someone else to obey, like I guess join the military or become subservient to their significant other and do everything that they tell them. Or I don't know, join a cult. Believe everything that it says in the Bible and live it to the T. Who knows what they're going to do, but they're not going to be able to think for themselves and make good decisions about their own lives. So once again, I think all the parents who are explaining to their children the thought process behind the decisions, getting their children involved in conversations about what is right and wrong and how they can come to think about things for themselves and think what is going to be the best choice to make. What are the future consequences of these choices going to be? Because children who understand those things will be much more successful as adults than children who simply obeyed. Just obeyed. Why did they obey? Not because it made any sense to them, not because they understood the reasons why, but just because they were fear of punishment, right? And that's all the Lord wants. He just wants us to blindly obey, not to critically think for ourselves or make any decisions on our own. He doesn't want to teach a man how to fish. He wants to give a man a fish, right? But that's the opposite. We're supposed to be teaching our children how to do things on their own, not just spoon feeding it to them and saying, do what I say because I said so, right? We need to explain why so that they can actually grow up to be mature thinking adults who will be good parents to their own kids, right? Well, look at that. We had a little rant going on inspired by the book of Hosea. It wasn't exactly inspired directly from the content of this biblical passage, but instead it sort of came up as, an antithetical reaction to what a horrible point of view this book is presenting. Yeah. But I mean, what can you really expect? You're not going to see a lot of good parenting role modeling coming from the same book where it says here in the Old Testament that children who disrespect their parents should be taken out and stoned, right? In the village square. It's ridiculous, y'all. This is not a source of morality. Really, this is so backwards and antiquated and just ignorant. It's written by ignorant people who really did not know any better. We are better than this now, guys. We are better. We have made progress. We are better people. We are better parents. And we are better to critically think and make our own decisions for ourselves than to try to just obey the commands of the Lord or the church or the preacher. Just listen to what somebody else tells us to do, like we are still little children just obeying our parents, saying, but why? And then the Lord is saying, 'cause I said so. But hey, don't blame me. It's in the Bible.